Hey, what's up everybody? Danny here, and so today I want to talk to you about how building Legos can help you build your personal brand. So actually yesterday, or 2 days ago, I started a class for becoming an Agile certified product owner. So really what that means is that you have to attend a 2-day class and then you get certified. So it's right now a program that you don't have to actually take a written certification exam for. However, they are working on one for that. But what's really interesting is that in the class it teaches you how to prioritize work based on your users' needs and other requirements. Now, what we did is we played a game. Well, I don't want to say it's a game, but we actually got to play with Legos. And what we had to do is we had to work as a team to get the requirements for what was needed to really be built. And I'm in my son's room right now, so I just want to show you how cool this actually is, because I really never really thought about it until I switch. So my son's room is a little bit of a mess, but one thing I noticed is, and he does this with everything that he does, is he's very thoughtful in how he puts each and every block by color and other things. For a 5-year-old, this is really, I mean, I think it's really awesome. He builds his own vehicles, and he makes his own requirements up. So very creative. Uh, it's something that when I was working with the teams yesterday uh, for this project, got me thinking that how we're just throwing things together, and we don't necessarily have a plan. We don't necessarily know what is needed, and although it may look great, is it usable? Does it meet the requirements of our customer? And I quickly realized that a lot of the things that we were doing, and it was taught throughout the class, really kind of these key moments to say, here's what we could have done better, right? And so people just kind of going about their own in the team, building their own blocks without talking to other members of the team. So it really highlighted a whole lot of instinctual or natural things that we tend to do in the workplace, or whatever you might be working on, if you're working on planning a party or whatever it might be, that there's definitely some sort of structure, that, albeit it doesn't have to be very rigid, but there is some sort of formula for success. And so how can you build this into your personal brand? So really that's kind of the question about, it got me thinking, I'm playing with Legos here, I'm having a good time, but what are the key lessons I'm learning? And it has to do with prioritization. It has to do with how you are merely managing your time and your resources to make sure that you're getting something to market. So you're getting something out there. So when we talk about personal branding, talking about WordPress websites or Squarespace or whatever, doesn't really matter. Whatever web platform you use to start building your platform, your digital platform, how are you going about that? Are you just kind of shooting from the hip and signing up for an account and then trying to do it on your spare time? That works for some people, but in my experience, personal experience, it's caused major delays in trying to build personal websites or even niche websites for niche brands. But if if you work like that, you work better like that, and you want to give that a shot, then I definitely recommend you follow a Kanban style method, because there's really no time bound requirements for you to get your website up there and get your content up there. But what I found is that and this happens in the workplace a lot, is that you are required by time-bound commitments. You've got 2-week sprints, or you have 1 month deliverables that have to be. You have to demonstrate what kind of work that you actually do. Now, if you're working for yourself, or if you're building your own personal brand while you're working a full-time job, you don't necessarily have that, because it's more like you're doing this kind of part-time, but you know that it's important and you know that it needs to get done. So how do you do that? Well, you do that by using sprints. And sprints are basically these time-bound 2-week or 4-week cycles of work, planned work, that you prioritize. All right, I just had to be quiet there because it's early here in the house and the kids are light sleepers. But so you have to plan your work accordingly, size up the work that you have to do accordingly, so you can project how long it's going to take you to launch your website. Now, if you're using a built-in platform like WordPress or Squarespace or anything like that, all the tech stuff is pretty much done for you. Now, I say that with a grain of salt because you still have a lot more work to do. Maybe the design's not the way you want it. Maybe there's other little things that that you have to add an email marketing service provider or whatever. There's other things that you can add later on down the road, but the most important thing is how are you going to define what your minimum viable product is, right? And so we'll talk about some more of those things in some other videos. But the key thing I wanted to get to point out today is that building a personal brand is just like building anything else. It does take planning. It does take preparation. Most importantly, you need to have fun with it, because if you're not having fun with it, then you're going to you're just gonna give up on it. And if you're working in a full-time job, it can be very time-consuming if you're not approaching it in an efficient and methodical way. So for me, I get up early in the morning and I work on my website before I go to work, before I get my kids ready for school. But it's something I love to do, and so I don't mind getting up early and doing it. I don't mind sacrificing time, maybe at night, watching a couple episodes of Game of Thrones or something. So of course we've got another 2 years as of this recording until the next season comes out. So, but anyway, so the point being is that if you motivate yourself and you find why you're doing it, it's going to really help you build your brand for the long term. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to try to get rich quick or anything like that. But if you want to get the right kind of job that maybe you're stuck in your career, or maybe that the role that you're in isn't the ideal role for you. The only way that you're going to get promoted is to promote yourself. And I don't want to say that in like a weird, sleazy type of way, but really in a professional manner. Like every time you go in a job interview, you're promoting yourself, right? So why should any other day be any different, right? So if you have a website, a place, a center for you to post content and share your expertise with the world, that's going to get you much farther ahead than just the average person who's just trying to whip up a resume because either A, they lost their job, or B, they got so fed up with it that they just decided to quit and now they're kind of stuck, right? So focus on the long term and go whip out some Legos and see what you can build. So anyway, take care, and I hope this video helped you think about how to get started with a personal brand. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments box below. Thanks. Bye.